I wonder how one can speed down, lower down or shorten the speed of fear. I think that we should go into that little more deeply into the question of fear. Don't you? I don't know because we have touched upon it 2 or 3 times during the course of these discussions. And I'm not sure to what depth or to what extent one is really understood it and free from that terrible thing. Shall we discuss it more? One becomes aware of it, or it is there always dormant, and awakens to any challenge that is disagreeable or dangerous, to any questioning of any form of resistance and security, both psychological, psychosomatic, and the otherwise. When one becomes aware of it, fear, what does one do with it? Or what is there to be done? Please let us, don't let me carry on alone.
To understand the fear, I have to be afraid now.
No, sir. No. Don't reduce it to such. Fear, sir, physical danger, physical illness and the pain of it and the recurring of that pain, fear of death, fear of loneliness, fear of not being able to fulfill, fear of not being loved, fear of complete isolation, loneliness, fear of not having anything to depend upon. You know, the various types of fears one has, from the most neurotic to the most neurotically sublime. Now, what is one to do? Will the understanding of the cause of that fear, not of any particular fear, but of fear, absolve fear, dissipate it? One knows the cause of fear as loneliness. Not having anything to depend upon, belief, person, or things. Knowing the cause, knowing all the intricacies, all the explanations, all the descriptions, will that somehow get rid of fear? Won't you join me in this, or am I to carry on by myself?
When you see yourself in that fear, and you see it, you understand it, you feel it, and you see it, and then isn't that moment where it just isn't anymore, and you can act from that act, that thing that you do not act, you react, you see it, and you just go.
Isn't what you do about fear more important than the fear itself?
Fear itself is more important than what you do about fear.
They said the reverse.
They said the reverse. All right. Well, all right, sir, you've explained all these things, then what? When I leave this room, I'm still afraid. It has me by the throat. And I would like to entirely be free of it. Completely. So that it never touches the mind. So how is that to be done? Does one really want to do this? To be entirely free of fear? Or is fear a sustaining element in our life? Belief, obviously, is the result of fear. Belief in so many things. And knowing the danger of belief, we cling to it, though it breeds fear. So does one really understand the nature of belief, and then with it, fear goes? Which means the mind is freed from the things that are causing fear. That's one problem. Then the other is it to be done slowly, analytically, taking time, day after day, peeling off the layers of fear? Or must it be done at once, totally, completely? I don't know if I'm making myself clear.
I can't see that there isn't preparation before seeing it completely, totally.
No, sir, I know this is the good old business of preparation,
Right.
training, discipline.
Can we go into that?
Wait, we're going to go into all that presently. But let us see the question involved in this, the question itself.
Can fear give you confidence to act?
No, please, one is afraid. Fear caused by belief. Because I hold on to a particular form of a concept, formula, ideation, which is very gratifying, gives me vitality, gives me something to lean on. My wife, my husband, my house, my belief, my God, my religion, my knowledge, and so on, so on. And that the very leaning on it, depending on it, sustains fear.
Which means that fear sustains itself.
So that's one question. Does the mind really want to be free of belief? And therefore awaken fear. Bring it out. Not wait for it to come bit by bit. Then the other thing involved is this to be done gradually, little by little, which is prepare. Prepare to meet fear totally, to understand it completely. Eyes that have been trained, prepared, disciplined, made attentive, alert, aware. All that implies time. Or is the mind to put aside all that? For me, all that is fallacy, and face the whole thing. Through one belief, I can see the whole structure of all belief, all concepts, all formulas, all dependence on organizations, psychologically. So, one knows fairly well the cause of fear, which is dependence, and therefore lack of love. When the mind depends on somebody or on some belief, love is absent, obviously. And it breeds fear. Now, is the mind capable of being free of belief, opinion, judgment, concepts, formulas, which divide, as we were saying yesterday, which divide and therefore conflict and therefore fear and all the rest of it? Does the mind, each one's mind, does it say, it must be? Do we go that far?
When you see the fallacy of any one of these things,
Do you, not when, sir, do you see it? No, don't let's theorize about it. I want to leave this morning, when I leave this room, I want to be free of fear. Forever. It won't touch the mind. Otherwise, it's not worth it. You follow? So how is that to be done?
Sir, haven't you gone through preparation?
No, cut me out. No, I don't think that works that way. Preparation, do you know what it means, sir? Do listen to it. Preparation implies time, right? Gradually prepare to face fear, to face loneliness, then what are you preparing?
I see it as a matter of acquiring a tool. And not, I don't expect to see it through the practice.
Look at your own difficulty. Who is the entity that is acquiring the tool? It is thought, obviously. Thought sharpened. our thought is dull, accepts things, they say, yes, I know. Fear is caused by belief and formulas, ideations, divisions, so it is inevitable, it's part of our instinct, part of our culture, part of our society, part of our religion, and we've got into the habit of it. And so the mind, being rather dull, says, accepts it. And you say to sharpen dullness needs time. Right? Oh, come on, sir.
Growth needs time.
What's that?
Growth needs time.
Growth needs time. Baby up to manhood and all the rest of time. Is there such thing as time in the field of psychology, in the psyche? Psychologically, is there time at all? You see that?
And is this a question of growth?
Huh?
And is this a question
Of growth, of course.
Is growth involved?
What is it that is growing? Huh? Thought.
In other words, your thought.
Look, sir, can thought grow? Thought being the past, response of the past. You can strengthen the past and strengthen thought, not make it grow. Is there such thing as growth?
I have seen people grow progressively less fearful in a marked way, but I personally have never seen people instantaneously.
We're going to find out, sir.
We have a door, either we open the door remains closed.
We want, sir?
Either the door is closed or it's open, never in between.
Cool.
Isn't the word growth here a concept and therefore implies comparison?
Look, sir, we have accepted growth as a means of getting rid of fear. Slowly, the whole traditional thing. Now, in that acceptance, in the idea of growth, time, what is it that is growing?
Isn't it thought which is the problem to begin with?
Look, what is growing? What is it that we have accepted as inevitable that you should grow, slowly get rid of fear?
The center from which fear?
You find out, sir. Look at it, find out.
The accumulation of experience.
Accumulation of experience. Man has fought wars for the last 5,000 years and is still going on. Experience must have taught the poor chap not to kill by now, but he goes on killing. No, we're not facing the issue. Look, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of being completely lonely. I'm afraid of not being loved, not being famous, not being somebody in this world, and so on, afraid. And am I to get rid of it? Is the mind to be free of it? Slowly. Is that ever possible? Which means I must have time. From here to there. There being when the mind is free of fear. Now, what happens in that interval? Between now and tomorrow. What happens there?
Fear.
No, do watch it. So what happens?
Can you not examine it, to stay with it, to look at
No,
it?
no, do look at this simple phenomena, sir. What happens when, between now, when I'm afraid, when the mind is afraid, till when it is not going to be afraid through time, grow, evolve.
Well, isn't it that the mind-
Do listen, look at the facts, sir. Don't speculate on it. What happens if I think I will be happy in 2 weeks' time?
You relax.
Huh?
You just kind of like that.
Do look at it, sir. Do look at the fact. I am violent, and eventually, slowly, gradually, I'll become non-violent. Violence will peter out of me. What has happened between the interval, between now and then? Am I not strengthening violence? Are there not other factors entering into violence, into that period of time? Want to have more problems engendered by violence? No?
I don't see why.
No?
All sorts of things intervene, and you haven't really given your attention totally to the one thing that you're trying to be free of.
Therefore, why not give your whole attention to the fact of fear now, not gradually? So come on.
The whole idea of setting up the future as opposed to the present,
The present.
is conflict and violence.
Of course.
So, setting up
No,
violent
sir.
situations.
I want to be the mind says I must be free before when I leave this room. What are you going to do? Put that question and see what happens.
Then one wants to see fear now.
Huh?
If one wants to, if I want to be free of it, since I want to be free of it, then I want to see it now while I'm here.
See it then. Don't introduce time into the factor, into the fact. If you are hungry, would you say gradually I'll eat? Take time, months and years to satisfy my hunger? And fear is much more dangerous. So what will you do? What will you do when faced with this fact that when you have leave this room, one must be free of it completely?
How can you undo the conditioning, say, of 50 years of fear in one split second like that?
I'll show it in a minute, sir. You go on at it. You keep at it. You will soon find out.
If you compare it to hunger, you want to sit down and get at it right now.
Do it.
Are we looking for a replacement for fear?
No, that's another trick.
No, I mean, is
A
that,
substitution for fear is still fear.
yes, that's why we can't get rid of it.
No. Look, sir. Look at what our mind does. I'm afraid. Mind is afraid. And so we say, we are used to this conditioning that it must be done gradually. It cannot be done instantly. That's one of our blocks, right? No?
Yes.
Now, can you get rid of that block? Can the mind brush it away?
If there's the urgency.
Isn't it an urgent thing, this?
No. I don't. It hurts a little, but not badly enough.
Well, it's just that I
Why isn't it urgent, sir?
God knows.
God knows, when you say God knows, you mean you haven't thought about it. No, I'm not laughing at you. I mean, I haven't thought about the mess in the world.
So we see that time is out.
No, we say that, sir, and go back to it.
No, we see that it's out. It's mathematically impossible.
And that means analysis is out.
Everything.
And no, look at it, sir. Time means analysis.
Analysis means time.
Of course, both. So the mind has rejected completely analysis and has rejected completely the cause.
And faith.
Faith is formula, all the rest of it. No, wait, sir, do it, sir. Let's. So is the mind that is now here operating free without substituting another cause, another escape? The idea of analysis. Analysis implies the analyzer and the analyzed. Analysis implies a constant examination, and each examination, analysis, must be complete. Otherwise you carry over something which is going to interpret the next analysis. All that involves time. Terrific danger. Does one see that? And the seeing of it, will it take time? I wonder why we accept time at all. Apart from the chronological time by the watch, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, why we accept time at all? Is it part of laziness, indolence? Part of this terrible indifference which accepts puts up with, and so on.
It also extends the power of our egos. It gives us the illusion
Yes,
of
sir.
going in the
Yes,
future.
so what is time analysis out of your system altogether? And if you find the cause of fear, will that free the mind of fear?
Fear and duration.
Fear?
And duration.
In duration?
Yes, the limits will be time.
Of course.
Not fear itself. Let's say, well, you said, no, but in this room right now, I experience fear. Now, if the fear, this process of fear, if I let it happen all the way through until it's completely, let us say, the experience completely happens.
Yes.
And I devote myself totally to it, without bringing in the future into it. In other words, I'll handle this part of it tomorrow. Shall we say? Like the total fear or whatever I'm afraid of right now. I let myself wide open and let it happen. And when I leave the room, I cannot carry this part of what is taking place outside.
Yes, sir, that's right. Why don't we do that? Why don't we, when the fear arises, give complete attention to it?
Because we have, like for instance, as a child, they always say, do not be afraid. Or let us say, we deny the fear is part of a human experience. This human quality that we all have.
We resist it.
Fear is something to be afraid of.
Yes.
When you're a child, you don't have that process of time as much. And I think one learns to use it to protect oneself from fear.
A child doesn't have any, he doesn't have any fear because he has no thought of the moment, of before.
Sir, forgive me for reminding you, need we discuss a child when we are grown-up people? At least thinking we are grown up? Here is a problem, sir. Do please put your teeth into this. Because I see, the mind sees the tremendous danger of fear. How it can become neurotic, pervert, most destructive thing in life, fear. And we have tried so many ways to get rid of it. Escape of different kinds, rationalizing it, and so on, so on, so on. And if the mind says, now, there must be a way of getting rid of it completely. If you apply your mind to the finding out what to do to end it completely, won't you have the energy for it? Okay.
What one must do then is to be free of any cause of fear, which would be any dependency, anything at all, which we through habit have come to depend upon for so long, whether it be money or anything else at all, so that what would imply walking out of the room with no fear at all would imply a person that was totally himself, totally with not anything that he retreated to at all. There'd be nowhere to go.
To be oneself, are you saying? I should think oneself is the most dangerous fear.
Well, what I meant by that, sir, is to be totally independent.
It seems to me we aren't serious enough about it.
Then why, sir, why take all this trouble to come and sit here and discuss with a poor chap coming from an old part of it? just for the fun of it?
No, I mean, if we were trapped, and
You are trapped.
and there's no other way out.
You are trapped.
Don't we put all our energy into the evasion of fear, and therefore never get any place?
Of course you do. Evasion is one of our first instinctual responses.
That is fear.
Yeah, of course. You see, you're giving explanations. I can give dozen explanations, but at the end of it, I've still got fear. What is to be done?
Are you implying that at any given moment there is no fear, but by giving it time we have fear, by giving it time?
Obviously.
I see it more clearly.
Moving away from what is, the very movement from away is fear.
Yeah, I see that. Fear.
Now, can the mind not move away at all? Non-verbally, verbally, in any form, not move away from that.
I think it can only be quiet and watch and see what happens.
Oh, I don't know. There's all time by the time won't absolve it. Time won't resolve it. Finding the cause of fear won't resolve it. Analysis won't get free the mind from. So what is one to do? Well, sir, it's up to you. And also there is this question, the very deep hidden fears of which one is not aware. To bring all this out on the surface.
Are there different fears, sir, or is there only fear?
I think there is fear in relation to different things.
It's the same fear.
Same fear, of course.
Because we wouldn't. How can we bring them all out? There are a myriad of them.
No, sir. Look at the look at the problem involved.
If we have to look for them all.
No, you don't have to look for them all. Look at the problem. What is involved in this? How we have destroyed. You follow? Inventing all this hocus pocus. So put it on the other way. Action of fear is one thing. And action without the mind burdened with dependency. The mind that is free from all dependency, its action is different. And the mind that is burdened with fear, its action also is different, entirely different.
explaining where dependency comes into this, sir, because there are fears that have nothing to do with dependency.
Yes, sir. Is there fear which is not in some form or other dependent? Self-preservation, which is enlightened intelligence, not fear. Physical survival. Dependency. I depend on you or something psychologically. I depend because there is this sense of vast inward nakedness, of which I am afraid. I depend because on ideas and cleverness, because, that's another form of dependence. So where there is dependency, where there is duality, me depending on something, there must be fear, obviously.
If I have cancer and I feel pain next month, is there dependency? Because I know that people die with great pain.
Yes.
And I think this is coming my way. Is there dependency?
Indeed. Subtle form.
Be dependency on some idea.
The doctor says you're for it.
You're for it. And then if I'm not afraid, I say, all right, sir, take it out.
You are, because pain is very...
Which means what? Look at it, go back, look at it, the whole thing. Memory of health, the time when I had no pain and now I have pain, and the idea that I might have pain for the next 10 years as long as I live.
Does it not mean that I must give up all hope of saving myself psychologically in any way whatsoever?
Oh, sure. I should think so. Now,
in any case, this inquiry makes time, sir. So we can't even go into the question of whether fear means dependency. Because all this is time. What are we going to do about fear? Understanding that time is up.
So because our mind are so conditioned that we don't see at a glance the whole structure and let it go. And therefore one has to examine the structure. The examination of the structure is not the structure. The description isn't the thing described. And we are playing with that all the time. And we have to make all that clear so that the mind becomes sharp enough to remain with that fact of fear. So that it doesn't escape at all.
So aren't we examining with that same tool which is old?
Naturally. Are you examining? Now wait a minute, sir, look at something. Are you examining or observing? No, this is very important.
By observation, then you mean?
Wait, look at it. Are you observing the phenomena, the structure, the nature, just observing? Or are you examining? The two things are different, aren't they? At least they are different, for me at least. I observe the tree. I don't examine it. I observe the tree and see all the movement of the breeze and the leaves and, the beauty of it, and I observe.
So then in observation, is there no accumulation?
That's what we are, of course, not. So please, I'll follow it. Are we examining or observing?
You examine something that's sick.
Big one, sir?
You examine something that's sick.
That's
but
right.
You observe something that's
Moving, living,
and alive.
like a river that's moving, you're observing. You're on the bank and the water is going by, you're observing. Now here, what are we doing? Observing or examining?
Excuse me, sir, the statement there, can't you observe something that's sick also?
Of course you can.
Don't let's beat around that for the moment. What are we doing, sir? Are we examining or observing?
It seems to me we're examining and we should be observing.
Not seems to you, sir. What are you doing? Here we have described this whole thing, examined it, explored it, analyzed it, tore it to pieces in different ways, each contributing his bit. At the end of it, are we observing this, what we have examined, or are you still examining? Which means discovering more causes, more explanations, more descriptions, more opinions, more the knowledge of the specialists and so on, so on, so on. We can do that indefinitely. Now, can we stop all that and observe? Now, this observation is instantaneous, isn't it? I don't know. Huh? Therefore, there is no time. I mean, if I go back to my childhood, why I'm afraid? Because my mother put me on a different pot from the old pot. I mean, there is no end to that kind of game. So, here, after examining very, very, simply and very clearly, now am I observing? And therefore, my observation is completely attentive. There is no distraction, there is no perversion, no translation, no interpretation, nothing but absolute attention to observe. And in that state, when there is complete observation that way, is there fear? Then you say, now, how am I to maintain this attention? I can do it for the moment. But when I go out, it's back. I'm lost. Now see the game we play with ourselves. When I leave, I become inattentive. Right? Then I say to myself, how am I to make myself attentive? What discipline, what foolishness. So I'm back again. So, at the moment of inattention, observe inattention. Not try to change it to something else. I don't know if you're meeting all this. And as one cannot possibly be so completely attentive all the time, But the moment there is a challenge which awakens fear, you are there. I don't know. Your whole attention is there. Therefore, be inattentive. And know you're inattentive. I don't know if you're following this.
Are you saying to observe whatever is going on with oneself without trying to change it, without trying to make it any different?
Beg your pardon?
Are you saying to observe what goes on with oneself without trying to make it different?
Obviously, obviously, obviously.
Sir, in a previous talk, you mentioned the very nature of the mind itself, how it demands security, for example. Is it not also so that the mind cannot be occupied with two things at the same time, and therefore, while it is attentive, that is where it is occupied. The mind cannot be in fear and attentive simultaneously. Is that not
No,
so?
sir, not quite. No, no, sir, if I may. We have examined the nature of fear, what happens when there is fear, how we postpone, how we run away, how we get more and more entangled in things which sustain fear. By examining all that, the mind has become alert. And then it says, now, I will observe now. I'm going to observe, not analyze anymore, examine anymore. And when the mind, which has examined, observed, gone in, explored, becomes extraordinarily sensitive, doesn't it? And therefore, very intelligent. And intelligence is this observation. And as the mind cannot be awake the 24 hours of the day, it has to sleep sometime. Let it sleep. But no, it is sleeping. Not say, I must sleep, I must change it to this. Now, so at the end of this hour, is fear with you?
Sleeping is escaping? Know that is escaping. Is that what you said?
Sleeping?
Is that what you said?
No, sir. No, sir. I didn't. Sleeping is the most marvelous thing, but we won't go into that. So, most of us are inattentive. And because we are inattentive, all the escape and the strengthening of fear comes. Because we are inattentive. The speed of attention is to examine and observe. Or in the very process of examination, observe. As you are examining, observe. I don't know if you...
We are observing, we have the sense we are fearful. We observe now our whole feeling and behavior in fear. We are fearful of losing something or being found fault with. We observe are there, we're standing around, we're in it and observing it, then the very observation is the ending of the fear?
Yes, sir, but it all depends how you observe.
Not critically.
No. That's where the key is. If you observe with dull eyes, there is nothing to observe. But if you observe with the understanding that comes with the whole, examination, exploration, then your eyes are clear to observe. I was going to say something here, which I don't know if you want to go into it, about sleep. Huh? Would it interest you going to it? Right, sir. Yes, sir.
If you have attention, tremendous attention to this fear, you are attentive. After, you might say, I don't like to use the word time, but as you continually observe, pay tremendous attention to this, does not it's like automatic after a while. It's like when you learn how to.
No, sir. Don't reduce it to mechanical thing. It isn't a routine. It isn't something that like a trained monkey. No, sir. It's much more subtle and more beautiful than merely making it mechanical.
Still within the ego, the attentiveness still locks us in now.
Does the ego lock?
But I'm attentive. I'm very alert and attentive at all times, but I'm still functioning.
And therefore, we must find out what we mean by attentive. Huh? I mean, egocentric person is also very attentive. For his own benefits, for his own, But we're talking of a different kind of attention. So what do we mean by sleep? What is sleep? Apart from the physical relaxation, tiredness, going to bed, having 8 hours or 9 hours or 5 hours of sleep, what is sleep? Please, sir, let's share this together. Don't let me just sit here and talk about it. Let's go at it together.
Sort of a cleansing process, the washing of the brain cells. That's what Shakespeare said, in effect.
Sir, suppose, unfortunately, you read about all these things. I don't. You have never read a book. You don't know anything about anything, and you're starting. Huh? What is sleep?
I can't keep awake, so I sleep.
Yes, sir, tired.
Sleep is what you spoke about yesterday, sir. The order and the emptiness that you spoke about yesterday.
Yes, sir.
It's the same as sleep.
Not quite.
Silence, which is silence.
No, we're going to find out, sir. Let's bring in, yes, I want to start as though, for the first time, I want to inquire into this.
Living for the day was too much for me, so I didn't sleep.
Yes, that is, all the battle, all the noise, all the bustle, going to the office, quarrels, insults, and, all that's going on and on and on. The body and the brain cells get tired, and inevitably it must rest. That's sleep. That's what we. All right. That's all right. Is there any other? Is there any other sleep?
I'm not there when I sleep.
Wait a minute, sir. Don't say that. How do you know? On the contrary, when you dream, you are there.
There's the sleep of intention.
No, sir. Go into it, sir. Sleep. What does it mean? Do we sleep during the day? Not go to bed, I mean.
When you're inattentive, you're somebody sleep.
No, sir. Do we sleep during the day? The mind is quiet, tired. The brain cells have been active and say, please, I must be quiet. Relax, rest, sleep. Or is it a perpetual movement? Perpetual movement in which there is an occasional sleep. You follow what I mean? The brain and the mind are going all the time. Working, responding, challenging, protecting, you follow? Frightened, aggressive, working. And in the movement of that, the body gets exhausted, the brain cells are weary and say, please, I must go to bed now. Right? But the brain cells and the whole of that is still going on. I should have thought sleep meant the end of that movement, at least for a period. The body says, I've had enough. I'm tired out. Goes to bed. But the brain goes on at a minor key, but still goes on. Dreams, restlessness, all the rest of it. Now, it would be reasonable to say the mind, the brain, and the nervous system is keeping going all the time. And it is only when the brain and the mind are completely quiet that is sleep. I don't know. Huh?
Are you saying then that we don't really sleep as long as we're dreaming and all this?
No, sir. No, I'm not saying anything. We're sharing together, sir. I'm not saying anything. I'm not your guru. So, the mind, the brain, and the nervous organism apparently is in constant movement, right? Even though the body says, leave me alone for a while, but it still goes on inside. The brain is working, the mind, I don't know if you have noticed it, before you go to bed, if one is awake a little bit, you go over the day, don't you? You say, I should have done this, I should have done, it tries to put some order. Watch it, sir. It tries to put some order. And the brain needs order, and therefore is going to create order while you're asleep. which is a form of dream. I don't know if you... So brain cell says, please give me order. Don't perpetually keep in disorder, movement. I don't know if you have experimented with all this. So at the end of the day, consciously one tries to put some kind of order. No? Hasn't it happened? Say, but you've gone over the day and say, I should have done this, I shouldn't have done that. It should have been put this way, I should have written the letter that way. You know, we go through all this. That is to bring about consciously order before going to sleep. And if you don't do it, the brain is going to do it. And when you wake up next morning, you have a little more order, which becomes disorder by all the noise. So, see from this, extraordinary things takes place. The brain demands order. It's going to get it during the day or during the sleep. It must have order. Right, sir? Now, if during the day there is complete order, you follow it, sir. Try it, do it. You'll see great fun out of this. Complete order, which means no effort. You follow? Order. Huh?
Silence.
Yeah. I don't want to use that.
Because the silence can only come if there's order. Otherwise,
I don't want to use...
The continuation of the disorder is the noise which stops the silence.
So, silence, order. All right. During the day, then you sleep. What happens? Right, sir? Right?
It must be complete rest.
Complete?
Complete rest.
Total inaction except of its own.
Complete rest.
No images are built in mind.
But it would seem like it would just be...
Now look, sir, complete rest. A silly mind can be completely at rest. But it will still remain a silly mind. I don't know if you're meeting me. Order. Silence is one of the most difficult things. If during the day that doesn't come about, the brain cell says, please, I must have order. Haven't you? You have a problem, mathematical or psychological problem. You worry for days and days, fuss around, look at it, and the brain has been working at it. It gets very tired, and during the sleep something takes place, and the next morning you wake up and say, I see it very clearly. It has solved it. Right? Haven't it? How? How does this happen? It's so simple, so there's no mystery about it. During the day, you're worried like a dog with a bone. And at the end of the day, the brain says, I've had enough, tired. There is a moment of complete relaxation, rest. Then at that moment, you see things differently. It's so simple. Now, I shall go on this, please. You must, if you don't share it, I have no fun in this.
At night, you're not making the effort. The effort in the daytime causes a lot of the problem. And at night, you're not making the effort so you can get order.
Yes. Therefore, so that we are saying the same thing. During the day, effort, contradiction produces disorder. At night there is a certain relaxation which brings about order, which again is destroyed the next day. And so this game goes on and on and on and on. And now, during the day there is order, no effort, all the rest of it. I don't know if you do it. If you can do this, you will see what happens. Then the mind, the brain goes to bed, goes to sleep. What happens? Must it have dreams anymore? No. And don't say no. It's a guesswork.
So the mind works without anything controlling it at all.
Does it work at all?
Just on its own action.
No, sir, you know.
No, I'm not expressing what I'm trying to say, but because it's hard to get out. Because I'm not. But just like things would become very clear as they become very quiet, and this isn't on any action, on anybody making it quiet. There is no person controlling it or making the mind do anything.
So what does that mean, sir?
Things would become very clear, it seems.
During the day you have done it.
During the day?
Yes. During the day you have done all that. You are no longer a slave to propaganda. You follow? You're no longer, all that we've discussed. All during the day you have brought about, mind has brought about clear order, silence, no in itself during the day by watching, listening. You follow? Attentive during the day. Then at night when it goes to sleep, what happens? The mind is completely at rest, isn't it? The brain cells are washed and made clean, right? Then what happens?
Can you remain alert in your sleep?
Huh?
Can you remain alert in your sleep?
That's what I'm trying to get at. The mind then is awake, not asleep. I don't know if you play with it, sir. That is real awakened attention, which operates during the day. I'll get it. So sleep, with ordinary sleep, is inattention. And that inattention must produce more chaos in sleep, contradiction, dreams, you follow? Which is expressed during the daytime. The daytime carried over again through sleep. Now, when there is attention during daytime, in the sense we are using the word attention, then sleep is complete attention. Right? I don't know. Then sleep is a state of heightened awakening, heightened, what is the word? Heightened wakefulness. And therefore, that wakeful state in sleep can touch things which during the day it cannot touch. I wonder if you're getting what I'm doing.
Are you saying, Fiji, that if the brain doesn't have to deal with the residue of the daytime, it is then free, as it were?
That's right.
To be open on some other level or in some other level.
That's right.
Doesn't it?
You see, it's like, oh, it interests you all this. You see, mystery, we invent a mystery. Right? You follow? And all the mystery of the gods and the, fairy tales and all that is a form of mystery in a life that is completely disorderly. And therefore that mystery is an escape. I don't know if you're... Now, when the mind has put order during the day, has order, the beauty of order, the feeling of order, and silence, and no effort, then when it sleeps, there is this strange attention, which is without motive, without compulsion, without any contradiction, without any duality. You follow? Inattention, attention. It is completely attentive while it's asleep.
What is the mind attending to while it is asleep?
It is not attending to anything. I know, sir, you don't see the beauty of it. Then like water, sir, water is water. Put it into any vase, into anything, it still remains water. The same thing with the mind. We have so destroyed it. Now, go further into it. In that attentive, sleepful state, the mind is uncontaminated, is in a state of complete innocence, in the sense of a mind that is not being able to be hurt. I don't know if you... And I know this is very important to see this, because innocence is that. The word innocent means that which cannot be hurt.
That which does not know.
Does not know hurt. During the daytime, the mind is either resisting not to be hurt or says, I am not hurt, is still doing all that, and therefore its order is still very limited. I don't know if you're following all this. And there, in sleep, attention is not attentive of something or about something, it is completely awake. Now, in that state there is meditation. Is all this Greek? I don't know, why not? Why isn't it? No, sir, because it's terribly serious, this. You follow?
It sounds like fun. Can you have it as fun rather than serious?
It's fun, sir. This is the greatest joy in life. All that rest, going to cinema, sex, and everything else becomes secondary. Because this, you see, you touch something which is untouchable by a mind that is observing itself as it were in a mirror. There is nothing to observe. So to discover that,
is it that in the day your mind has an identity and at night it has not?
Yeah, during the day there is the me, which is trying to put order in the disorder which it has created. Therefore, its order is still disorder. Until that is put in order, in the sense of order which is not put by brought about by thought, but by observation, which went into all that. Then there is, when that takes place during the waking hours, order, mathematics, not a fraction of disorder, which means no effort at all, at any level, at any time. And therefore contradiction, all the rest of it. So when the mind has, when there is order when the wakeful hours, and when the body, when there is sleep, the mind then is attentive, because it's so empty, it is attentive. And in that attention, it can touch, move, or something which here it cannot do. Therefore, sleep is important. I wonder if I'm...
Could you go on with, you touched on mystery, could you go on with that?
Mystery. This is mystery stuff. What are you talking about?
There was something else you touched on.
This is the greatest mystery.
What then is the difference between the empty mind in sleep and the empty mind and wakefulness? Is it that the empty
So,
mind in sleep
have you ever closed your eyes and sat very quiet, or lay very quiet, having nothing to look at, not even your thought? Have you? The mind looking at itself without any movement of thought.
Without objects.
Without that. All this implies, isn't a game, it isn't an entertainment, it's a tremendous discipline, this. Not discipline of conformity, suppression, obedience, somebody tell you to do this, but in itself there is tremendous watchfulness which brings its own order, both physical and psychological. And without that, just to, play around with all the other stuff is no meaning.
Give us the guide toward the attentiveness of the day.
Yes, sir. That's I don't know, sir, if you know, functioning from a center and functioning without a center. One is creative, one is not. What is the time, sir?
25 to 1.
Isn't it time enough? Huh? Because one could go on talking about this. It's really quite, I can't tell you how extraordinarily fascinating it is. And therefore tremendous joy in this, which is nothing to do with pleasure. Oh God, yes, nothing to do with pleasure. Basta.